Buckle up, space fans. Get ready for some cosmic debunking. We've been searching high and low for the elusive Planet 9, and finally, it seems we've found it. But before you start imagining a planet-sized apocalypse, let's separate fact from fiction. Is our Earth in danger? Or is this actually just another astronomical sighting making headlines as Nibiru? Hold on to your spacesuit. There's more to the story than just Planet 9. While we're still searching high and low for this mysterious world, our quest has uncovered some mind-blowing secrets about our solar system. The truth is, it's not just Planet 9 that's caught scientists' attention. The dark corners of our cosmic neighborhood might be harboring up to 200 undiscovered planets. And these distant worlds are leaving researchers scratching their heads with their utterly bizarre characteristics. So buckle in. Let's dive into where this thrilling search has taken us so far. Let's blast off into the unknown and uncover what's hiding on the edge of our solar system. The quest for an unseen planet dates back thousands of years, with the ancient Babylonians being some of the first to propose its existence. Talk about ahead of their time. Little did they know that centuries later, the rumor mill would pick up where they left off with a new player in town Nibiru. But is this fabled world more than just an old wives' tale, or does it hold any truth? Fast forward to the 70s when Zacharias Sitchin took ancient Babylonian lore, turned it upside down, and gave Nibiru a drastic makeover, transforming this star into a planet. He claimed this rogue world would periodically swing by our sun, and its supposed close calls would wreak havoc on Earth. But hold up, because this Nibiru narrative doesn't add up to real science. It's more like fiction with some fascinating facts mixed in. So what's really going on? You might think scientists would stay far away from Sitchin's Nibiru hype, but nope. Recently, two astronomers, Scott Shepard and Chad Trujillo, threw their own twist into the mix. They found a bunch of small celestial bodies beyond Neptune, which they dubbed trans-Neptunian objects. These tiny space rocks are actually hanging out in an area called the Kuiper Belt, essentially the solar system's freezer section, where leftover icy bits from its formation still chill to this day. Fast forward to 2014, when Shepard and Trujillo were stoked about a possible unknown planet influencing trans-Neptunian objects' paths. But in 2016, Caltech astronomers Konstantin Batygin and Michael Brown threw some major shade with an even wilder idea. The 6 most distant Kuiper Belt objects are moving in super-stretched elliptical orbits that almost look like they've been gathered by something. The chances of this happening randomly, 0. It's as if there's some unseen force, or maybe, just maybe, a hidden planet we haven't discovered yet, keeping these icy bodies in check. The probability of those aligned orbits, a mere 0.2%. But here's the kicker, all 6 objects are also tilted at almost exactly the same angle, about 30 degrees off the ecliptic plane. Brown and Batygin were like, alright, this could be our smoking gun. They suggested that a massive, undiscovered object must be warping their paths with its gravity. The duo even did the math to predict this hypothetical planet's orbit. It's super stretched and takes an insane 10,000 to 20,000 years to complete just one trip around the sun. You know how astronomers figured out the orbit of that mysterious space rock? Well, that method's been around since 1846, and it's a doozy. Back then, Uranus' wonky orbit had everyone stumped. French math whiz Urbain Le Verrier stepped up to the challenge and proposed that an unknown planet was tugging on Uranus. He shared his calculations with another genius, German astronomer Johann Galle, who just so happened to have a telescope ready to roll. Guess what? Fast forward. Le Verrier's hunch paid off when German astronomer Johann Galle spotted Neptune in 1846. But that wasn't all. Another theory began to brew in 1906 courtesy of Percival Lowell. He believed there was a new planet lurking beyond Neptune, and it had the astronomers on high alert. They called it Planet X, although Lowell himself couldn't pinpoint its location. His legacy lived on when Clyde Tombaugh, working under the same stars at Lowell Observatory, stumbled upon something tiny but mighty in 1930 Pluto. For decades, Pluto was hailed as our 9th planet, but eventually got a new title, Dwarf Planet, and it's still making headlines today. But here's the catch, Pluto can't be the sole reason behind those weird orbits in our cosmic neighborhood. Recent models from scientists Mike Brown and Kelsey Bannigan suggest Planet 9, a mysterious world, could be as massive as 5 to 10 times Earth's mass. and hang out somewhere between 4 to an astonishing 800 astronomical units away from our star. That's 4 to 800 times the distance of Earth from the Sun. To put that into perspective, one astronomical unit is about 150 million kilometers. That's some seriously icy, distant ground we're talking about. And if Planet 9 exists, its gravitational pull could be what's clumping those trans-Neptunian objects together in similar orbits. The search for Planet 9 has been a cosmic whodunit that's stumped scientists for ages. To crack this case, these space sleuths use powerful computer simulations to track down clues. They craft models of our solar system's outer reaches by inputting various potential Planet 9 characteristics and let the computer magic happen. Fast forward billions of years. What would these distant objects do? Meanwhile, researchers have been scouring the skies with surveys that cover an impressive 87% of the areas where we should be looking for this elusive ninth planet. Imagine scanning through over 3,500 potential suspects, only to find that none of them measure up, literally. But what makes Planet 9 such an elusive mystery? One key reason is its mind-boggling distance from the Sun, a whopping 800 astronomical units. At this immense remove, even gargantuan objects become super tough to spot. That's because they're extremely faint and icy cold, with no heat or light to speak of, making it like trying to find a ghostly giant in the depths of space. Even the most advanced space tech can't cut through the darkness. Our best telescopes are basically flying blind when it comes to finding this elusive planet. To put things into perspective, take Pluto for example, which sits a relatively cozy 20 times closer to us than Planet 9. Despite being much closer, all we can make out is a fuzzy blob until you send in the big guns, like New Horizons, which gave us our first up-close glimpse of this dwarf planet's icy landscape. If Planet 9 behaves anything like Pluto, it'd have already been discovered by now. The fact that we haven't found it yet tells us just how mysterious and far away it must be. But here's the catch. If Planet 9 is out there, it wouldn't just be any ordinary world. Its density and mass would be super high, making it almost as heavy as our very own Earth. And its surface, a chilly mix of frozen methane, nitrogen, and ice, sounds like Pluto's home turf, right? The problem is, this icy combo makes the planet a master at hiding. It barely reflects any sunlight, so we'd be searching for a ghostly blob in the vast cosmic sea. To make matters even trickier, scientists think Planet 9 might have some teeny moons or super thin rings lurking around it, just what we need to add more complexity to our already impossible to spot pixel. Hold up, what if our missing Planet 9 isn't a planet at all? Buckle up, folks, because this next theory is out of this world. In 2019, astrophysicist James Unwin and his Durham University team threw some seriously mind-blowing ideas into the mix. What if that mysterious object lurking on our solar system's edge isn't a planet, but instead a primordial black hole? This crazy idea stems from cosmological theories suggesting these ancient black holes formed right after the Big Bang, when density matter just collapsed under its own gravity. Here's the kicker: primordial black holes could be teeny tiny, even smaller than our home planet Earth. So if Planet 9 is actually a primordial black hole, talk about a tiny titan. Scientists say that even a small black hole, one with 5 times Earth's mass, could squeeze into a teensy-weensy space, roughly the size of a tennis ball. But here's the wild part: despite its mini size, it'd still pack the same gravitational punch as a regular-sized planet. The catch: this sneaky little black hole would be invisible to us, unless it somehow snagged some surrounding matter and let out a cosmic "Hey, I'm here." Meanwhile, we'd still see those telltale signs of its presence in our solar system's outer reaches. Now let's imagine this teeny tiny primordial black hole hiding out at the edge of our solar system, just waiting for something to stumble into its gravitational grasp. But here's the thing: it's super unlikely that anything would regularly crash into a tiny black hole out there, lighting up like a cosmic Christmas tree. Yet, even without any visitors, these microscopic monsters can still glow ever so faintly on their own. It all comes down to some mind-bending physics. Back in the 1970s, the legendary Stephen Hawking proposed that black holes aren't completely dark. Instead, they give off an incredibly feeble light. According to Hawking's theory, this happens when gravity and quantum forces get into a cosmic dance on the event horizon of the black hole. It's a pretty trippy idea, and it just goes to show that even tiny, invisible black holes can have some seriously cool secrets. But there's more. As these teeny black holes glow faintly, they're also slowly disappearing. This happens because Hawking believed that black holes can actually evaporate over time, releasing a type of low-energy radiation known as Hawking radiation. Now, here's the really cool part. Even though this radiation is incredibly weak, it does exist. However, if we take an example of a black hole with the same mass as our Sun, it would give off a mind-bogglingly small amount of energy R, just one photon every single year. Catching this event in action would be like trying to snap a selfie with a shooting star. But instead of seconds, you'd have centuries. So, even if we were to launch an entire armada of super-fast space probes into the Kuiper Belt, searching for that elusive Planet 9, Hawking's radiation just wouldn't give us the cosmic light we're looking for. You're right. Knowing where to look is half the battle. And there's another crucial detail: the smaller the black hole, the faster it disappears in a burst of Hawking radiation. So, if we imagine a primordial black hole with a mass similar to that of Planet 9, it wouldn't have stuck around long enough to be part of our solar system's 4.5 billion year history. But here's the amazing thing. While scientists continue to search for or rule out Planet 9, they've stumbled upon some incredible discoveries along the way. These findings could completely revolutionize how we understand our own cosmic neighborhood and might just change everything we thought we knew about our solar system. Get this, there could be over 200 mysterious worlds hiding on the edges of our solar system. And let me tell you, these enigmatic objects are no Earth or Mercury. They're more like tiny titans from our cosmic past, dwarf planets like Pluto. These little guys have enough heft to hold their shape as balls, but just can't muster the gravitational oomph to kick other nearby bodies out of their orbits. That's actually why, back in 2006, scientists reclassified Pluto and its crew as dwarf planets, a special category for objects that are substantial yet still can't rule the roost in their orbital realms. You might know that this sneaky world isn't a dominant player, zooming past Neptune's orbit and not calling any shots in the areas it cruises through. The search for Planet 9 led scientists on a treasure hunt, stumbling upon many dwarf planet gems along the way. One of these stunners is Haumea. Talk about speed, this dwarf planet does the entire lap around its axis in just 4 hours flat, making it the reigning champion of solar system spin masters. The crazy fast rotation generates an intense centrifugal force that's given Haumea a seriously unique football or egg-like shape. Fasten your seatbelts because we're diving into the extreme world of Haumea. This dwarf planet resides a whopping 43 astronomical units away from our Sun, so far out that sunlight takes an astonishing 6 hours to make the journey. As for Haumea's year, it lasts a mind-boggling 280, 5 times longer than ours on Earth. Talk about time dilation. Now let's look at its size. With an equatorial diameter of approximately 1,740 kilometers, it's roughly 1/7 as wide as our home planet. But here's the real showstopper: scientists initially thought dwarf planets just couldn't pull off rings like gas giants do, a notion that Haumea completely shattered. But here's where things get really out of this world, literally. In a stunning reversal of what we thought we knew about dwarf planets, Haumea not only boasts rings, but they're even positioned in an unexpected order, with the planet itself at the center, followed by its moons Namaka and Hyakka, and then finally the ring. Scientists believe that these rings were born from a massive collision where another object crashed into Haumea, leaving behind debris that's now stuck in orbit around it. But here's the mind-bending part. Even though this collision should have torn apart any existing moons or destabilized their orbits, somehow Haumea's unique shape and gravity managed to keep everything intact. A cosmic phenomenon that defies all logic and leaves us with one thing for sure: Haumea is an extraterrestrial oddball. But hold on to your seats, because the weirdness doesn't stop at Haumea. New data from the James Webb Space Telescope has astronomers reeling as they've discovered that dwarf planets Eris and Makemake might just be more bizarre than we ever imagined. According to computer models, these icy giants are thought to have molten cores, meaning they could be harboring liquid water oceans deep beneath their frozen surfaces. Yes, you read that right, underground oceans on these distant worlds. The implications are huge if this is true. It means Eris and Makemake could potentially support life. And with temperatures in our own solar system dropping, who's to say we won't soon be looking for a new home among the dwarf planets? But let's dive deeper into what makes these dwarf planets so fascinating. Their inner heat isn't just a static feature. It actually triggers some crazy processes. For starters, they regularly spew out methane gas into space. And then, in an even wilder twist, much of that methane somehow ends up back on the surface. Imagine geysers or ice volcanoes reshaping these distant worlds. Talk about a cosmic makeover. And while we've seen some mind-bending objects in our solar system, there's one that takes the cake, Niku, a mysterious object hurtling around the sun in reverse, like it's moving against the cosmic traffic. To top it off, it's a whopping 35 times farther away from us than Earth, way beyond Neptune's orbit in the far reaches of our solar system. But wait, there's more. Niku's got some serious attitude. Not only is it moving against the flow, its orbit is also tilted a whopping 110 degrees relative to our solar system's main plane. And here's the kicker: according to all the models we've built of how our solar system came to be, this just shouldn't be possible. So either Niku's an interloper from another star system that stumbled into ours and decided to crash the party. Talk about a cosmic newcomer. Or maybe it's got some bigger, mysterious friend hiding in the shadows, like our old buddy Planet 9, who's still out there waiting to be found. But here's the exciting part. We might just find some clues to Niku's secrets by taking a closer look at other mysterious objects in the Kuiper Belt. Think of it like being on a cosmic detective mission. Back in 2019, NASA's New Horizons probe made a flyby of a tiny world called 2014 Mu-69, which we later renamed Erikath. That's right, this little guy got its own name. As the probe zoomed past, it snapped pictures and gathered data about Erikath's shape, composition, and insides. This was actually the very first time we ever studied an object from the Kuiper Belt up close, so this tiny 34-kilometer wide world is a real game changer in understanding these enigmatic space rocks. The real jaw-dropper about Erikath: this tiny world appears to be two separate objects that somehow merged in a cosmic dance of gravity and time. Now you might wonder, how on earth did these two pieces not just smash into a billion pieces when they collided? It's like an astronomical game of bumper cars, but with much weaker engines. Instead, the two ancient objects took their sweet time to get close enough, and I mean very, very close, so that their gravity could work its magic, essentially gluing them together into this bizarrely beautiful whole we now call Erikath. And here's the kicker: it's hard to imagine how those exact circumstances came together to make this unlikely merger happen. But there it is, a real-life cosmic puzzle, and a reminder that, in the universe, anything can go down as long as gravity gets its say. Imagine a cosmic cabinet of weird and wonderful surprises. That's basically what the Kuiper Belt is. It's like nature's own display case for the universe's quirks. But that's not even the coolest part. Did you know there could be hundreds more secrets waiting to be uncovered? Right now, astronomers think up to 200 dwarf planets are hiding in plain sight within our view of the Kuiper Belt. And if we're lucky enough to get a peek at what lies beyond, who knows how many more surprises await us. Scientists estimate that as many as 3,000 additional dwarf planets could be lurking even deeper out there in space. Can you believe it? It's like the universe is still keeping its best treasures under wraps. You've probably heard whispers about a mysterious Planet 9 lurking in our solar system. But here's a bombshell: recent research suggests it might not exist after all. Back in 2021, astronomers threw around the idea that those strange groups of tiny, icy worlds beyond Neptune could be Planet 9's calling card. But now, a team led by astronomer Kevin Napier did some serious digging and found out that these enigmatic objects weren't as connected as we thought. By factoring in when and where our telescopes were scanning the sky, they discovered those objects are actually evenly spread across space. No hidden pattern or mysterious influence to be seen. It looks like Planet 9 might remain a cosmic mystery for now. So, it turns out the objects were mostly spotted where our telescopes were super sensitive. A coincidence more than cosmic connection. The team thinks this could be due to something called selection bias. Basically, we're just seeing what we're looking at because of how and when we're looking. But here's the thing, not everyone agrees with this explanation. Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin are still convinced that Planet 9 is out there, pointing to their data analysis as proof that these objects are indeed clustered together due to a massive planet's gravitational pull. The debate continues. Here's a twist. What if Planet 9 isn't a single planet at all, but thousands of tiny objects in space? Imagine the Kuiper Belt as a massive party with 100 to a few thousand dwarf planets crashing it, plus comets and asteroids like Arrokoth joining the fun. Now, think about this. Even though these small players are far away from the sun and individual gravity is weak, they could be working together in a cosmic crew. Their combined gravitational pull might just equal that of a planet bigger than Earth. Game changer alert. And if their distribution got jumbled for any reason, voila. It's enough to explain those strange trans-Neptunian object movements. Now we've got a cosmic whodunit on our hands. So, this swarm of tiny objects might have been secretly manipulating trans-Neptunian object orbits all along, making it seem like Planet 9 was real. You guessed it, this isn't the first time astronomers thought they'd spotted something that turned out to be a collective effect instead. Let's travel back in time and meet Urbain Le Verrier, the math wizard who helped discover Neptune. He spent his days and nights calculating, convinced another planet, Vulcan, orbited close to our sun. But it was just an illusion caused by the gravitational pull of Mercury. Get ready for another mind-blowing twist. You see, folks, Mercury's super-sharp orbit used to be this unsolved mystery until Einstein rocked the boat with his relativity theory and revealed the truth. No Vulcan planet needed. Now, it looks like history might just repeat itself. German astronomers, particularly Susanna Fulsner leading the pack, are proposing a bold new idea that could possibly do the same for Planet 9. Stay tuned, we're about to dive into this fascinating new hypothesis and see if our understanding of the solar system is getting a major makeover. Imagine being part of a cosmic city, where our sun is just one of many stars living in close proximity. But here's the thing, these stellar neighbors aren't like next-door neighbors who constantly hang out. They're way too far apart, moving through the galaxy at incredible speeds. Occasionally, though, their paths will cross, and when that happens, a massive gravitational stirrer is created. The closer the passing star, and the smaller the objects nearby, the stronger this stirring effect becomes, or kind of like how ripples spread out in a pond when you toss a stone. Now let's dive into the cosmic pool scenario. Imagine a massive star causing quite the ruckus in our outer solar system. These Kuiper Belt objects could get knocked off course and onto some seriously weird paths, as if they were billiard balls. But is this just a far-fetched dream or something that actually happens? Fulsner's team took this idea for a spin, simulating dozens of these close stellar encounters. And guess what? One of their models eerily matched the strange orbits we're observing today. Fast forward to about 2.5 billion years ago. That's when we're talking. A star, only slightly smaller than our sun, gave us a close call, buzzing by from 100 astronomical units away. This object passed with a 70-degree tilt, kind of like doing a cosmic barrel roll. The gravitational aftermath left many Kuiper Belt objects on some pretty wild paths, making it seem as though there was an invisible, giant planet lurking in the vicinity. And here's the really cool part: this scenario also predicted that beyond Neptune, we'd find hundreds of objects moving in the opposite direction to our entire solar system. Talk about a cosmic rebel crew. So it turns out Niku's unusual orbit isn't a one-off after all. The star that made that close flyby about 2.5 billion years ago is the culprit behind its wild path. But if we want Fulsner's model to shake things up and replace Planet 9, we need more evidence. Specifically, finding those hundreds of rogue trans-Neptunian objects moving against our solar system's spin. And here's where it gets really mind-blowing. The search for these cosmic outcasts could lead us to something even stranger. It might just open a door, or rather a gateway, that lets us reach for the stars in ways we never thought possible. And get this, it's not just about reaching other stars, but also letting them pass right through our own solar system's edge. Get ready for some cosmic visitors, rogue planets that get kicked out of their star systems during intense gravitational shakeups are drifting through the galaxy like lone space travelers. Our ongoing search for Planet 9 has actually supercharged our telescopes, making it easier to spot a lone gas giant against the starry backdrop. But here's where things take an incredible turn. Back in a few years ago, physicist Irina Romanovskaya from Houston Community College dropped a bombshell theory that will blow your mind. Fasten your seatbelts, space fans. Irina Romanovskaya's theory is taking us on an epic ride. What if advanced alien civilizations are using rogue planets as their cosmic spaceships, traveling from star system to star system? It sounds far-fetched, but the chances of aliens cruising by Earth on a rogue planet, practically zilch. So, let's flip the script. What if we humans could actually use these wandering worlds as our own interstellar transportation? If we establish colonies on a rogue planet, we could ride it for thousands of years while it makes its way to other stars, all without burning through massive amounts of fuel. You're right on point. This idea is straight out of a sci-fi flick. But here's the thing, folks, we've got time to make this hypothetical scenario a reality. Instead of discovering another planet in our solar system, we can actually use what we have as a launching pad for humanity's next giant leap. Just imagine it, an entire rogue planet transformed into our very own cosmic vessel, which we could lovingly call Nibiru after